Okay, this is the Town of Southbridge, a joint protection of persons of property subcommittee council meeting agenda, Thursday, May 16th, 7:10 p.m. in the Veterans Room. And it's, I also want to let you know that the items listed which may be discussed at the meeting are those reasonably anticipated by the chair. Not all items listed may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by law. Roll call. Councilor Dow, Citizen Member Julian.
Yeah.
Councilor Shenya, Citizen Member Roland LaRochelle.
Present.
Ariel Ortiz, excused. Approval of the minutes of April 29th, 2024. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion about the minutes? Hearing none. All those in favor? Opposed? Done. Number 4, review and discuss the town manager's appointment of Anna Smith as a consultant for 4 hours a week at the rate of $50 per hour to assist the town agent for solid waste and recycling regarding landfill post-closure process, as well as the recycling dividend program application and monitoring. Entertain a motion to recommend to town council for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, town manager.
Thank you.
I am going to recuse myself from this as the chair
Recuse
of
or
the Health.
abstain?
No,
Okay.
I'm just finishing this.
So, thank you. So, Maritza and I have had this conversation since Anna was here, along with Anna, about trying to, well, having her come and provide some assistance to the department. And we received, Maritza had given me the request, and then Dan followed up with it as well, requesting her services to assist. We have post-closure activities that we get landfill monitoring reports and the like, and also we have the recycling dividends program, plus she did a lot of work with the curbside recycling account. So this would be an adjunct with Maritza to assist in some of that processes, and there's just so much work along with the curbside that we don't want to lose anything when it comes to the post-closure of the landfill, because it's not only going to continue for this fiscal year. Anna has pretty much said she'll work through the end of this fiscal year, but I'm leaving it open-ended that if we need, and I think she's in agreement of it, that if we needed technical assistance on certain things throughout next year, that we can just reach out to her and she would come in, no more than 4 hours a week. So that's the agreement. When you look at the dollar amount of $50 per hour, if you took how much she was making an hour before when she left, it's pretty close to that hourly rate without any benefits. So she's not a benefit employee. So I think with her benefits, her base pay was, rate of pay was like around 47, 48, plus the benefits. So we're just strictly paying her $50 per hour, no benefits, non-benefit position. We have money in the specialized services account for this. We also have money in the landfill reimbursement account going forward that we could use some money in regards to that as well. Not the royalty account, but the reimbursement account. So I think it's a great assistance. It's a needed assistance because we get constant reports from Ty and Bond for the post-closure. The monitoring reports, she's very intricately involved and knows a lot about that, and that would just assist in further transition with Maritza, because quite honestly, we're so involved with the curbside collection program that we don't want to lose sight of the post-closure on the landfill. So I would ask that you support this.
Councilor Dow.
Thank you, Chair, through you. It's gonna have enough time, 4 hours, by the time she come here, time to leave, is that?
Well, it doesn't include travel time, so she'll be here 4 hours a week. And I'm sure if we need her on more in certain things, she'll definitely help out.
So, because you say only 4 hours.
Yeah, that's what she asked, that's what she said she could do.
But it might be open for more
If we need her more, I'm sure that she's willing to help out in any way we can. We just wanted to get her here.
Do you have to come back in front of us to approve those extra hours maybe, or?
Most likely because you did specify.
Yeah, I did. I mean, we can change it as a consultant, you know.
I think we should amend it to move to 4 hours as needed.
As needed, yeah. 4 hours.
For
plus
4 hours or as needed.
Or as needed, yeah. If you want to add that as
I'll make a
needed.
motion to make that amendment.
Second.
Thank you.
Okay. Any discussion on that? So the motion would be, we'll just read it, review and discuss the town manager's appointment of Anna Smith as a consultant for 4 hours or as needed a week at the rate of $50 per hour. Right, those votes.
So,
Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor? Opposed? Any further discussion on the Anna Smith to the main motion? The main motion will be review and discuss the town manager's appointment of Anna Smith as a consultant for 4 hours or as needed per week at the rate of $50 per hour to assist the town agent. You know, we're voting on that.
no?
Okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? None.
Just, Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
just remind, I put a note, but we'll have to amend it at the council
Council
meeting
meeting
because the
Monday.
agenda's
Okay.
already been posted.
I'll try to remember.
Thank you. I have a note, but just in case we forget.
All right. All right, we'll make the record reflect that citizen member Larochelle has returned to the meeting. Okay, article number 6, review and discuss a fire department, I'm sorry,
5.
no, you're right, number 5. Review and discuss a fire department transfer request for $1,200 from account number 001220-585600, safety equipment to account number 001220-548000, motor vehicle parts and accessories to cover the cost for repairs to the electrical charging system and batteries for Force Fire 1 and Engine 3. Entertain a motion to recommend town council for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Chief? Chief.
Good evening, everybody. There's unexpected repairs to both of these vehicles. Preventative maintenance program identified that the chargers and the batteries are, well, actually the charger has been original in both of those vehicles. The charging inverter, slow trickle units, and the batteries we do on a cycle of every 4 to 5 years, and both of those are actually at the 5-year mark. So we need to get these all taken care of. Just to let you know, there is a drawer on these trucks at all times when they're sitting in the station. There's radios that are always continuously charging up the batteries. There's lights that are in these vehicles that are charging, hand lights that are charging. So these things have to be on shore power, we'll call it. And these two systems, obviously the batteries and the trickle chargers need to be replaced.
Town manager?
No, you'll see a number of transfers from the fire and police, and that's because we instructed them that, to have everything pretty much intact by May 31st. So that's why there's a number of transfers.
So I can tell them tonight, don't come back?
Unless it's an emergency.
Council Down.
Thank you, Chair, to you. Got a question, Chief or Town Manager, through the Chair. The previous Town Manager, we tried to prepare some item, like every vehicle, what we change on it, the VIN number, the mile, what we do maintenance and all that. That is still in the process or does not exist anymore?
We have a pretty secured computerized system that we're actually putting all that information into. So we do check mileages, and when vehicles get fueled, the mileages are in there. Obviously, we do air tires, pressure checks, battery checks. All those things are documented. That's something we do internally, but nothing at the town level has never been.
I don't know if you remember, Mr. Town Manager, I think when you was either councilor at that time,
So-
or before that,
Yeah,
Macaulay was doing kind of like a picture with the vehicles and all, you know, what
Yeah.
we do in maintenance and all stuff.
I don't see any database throughout any of the databases that the town manager of McCall ever had instituted. But I have had conversations with the DPW director that will be coming forward. He wants to purchase a scanner for, so he can do like regular motor vehicles as well, because we have a fleet of regular motor vehicles to have, he doesn't, his mechanics don't even have a scanner to plug in for those vehicles, so we'll be coming council for some of those. And then we've talked about developing a fleet maintenance in a future budget to have a fleet maintenance, like one of the mechanics be the fleet maintenance, senior fleet maintenance, like mechanic, that would organize all the fleet to have all those databases and try to get it more standardized. So we had that conversation last week, and we got to that because I think it is essential that we do something like that, because we have a lot of vehicles, and I think you'll see when in working through the capital plan that we've been trying to develop is we really have to get a handle on inventory of vehicles to that point. Bins, we have it on the insurance policies, but really a good solid program.
Like now, example, we're gonna replace those barrier and 2 vehicles, but what we're gonna have for record for those 2 vehicles? Where's the record? We did change them this year, how much warranty on them for future, in case one off again or something.
So in our electronic database that we have, our fire software has all that stuff in it. We've been working almost over a year now, inputting each vehicle. Every time we fuel up a vehicle, it goes in there. Every time we do an oil change, it goes in there. Things that you're talking about are in there. So we will know that this time in 4 years, that should pop up, that we're looking at changing the batteries in both those vehicles.
Because right now, generally, we don't have the vehicle information, what vehicle we're changing the battery on. It could come back next month, say, I need to replace another 2 battery and 2 vehicles, and we don't know which one was done, which one is gonna come forward to, so kinda like a little bit more information on what car we're gonna work on. Thank you.
Any other discussion on the floor? All those in favor? Opposed? None. Article 6, review and discuss a fire department transfer request of $2,800 from account number 001-220-585600, safety equipment, to account number 001-220-525100, repair maintenance of equipment, to cover the cost of the annual hydrostatic testing of all self-contained breathing apparatus bottles and testing certification of all self-contained breathing apparatus. Entertain a motion to recommend to town council for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Chief?
So this is an annual inspection for both our air packs, the actual air pack that firefighters wear. It's a testing that the company we hired that comes in. I don't know if you saw last week sometime, there was 2 trucks parked in front of the station to get all of our packs taken care of. Along with exactly doing that, they hydro tested all of our air bottles. So each air pack, we have technically 2 air bottles. So the cost for these were a little bit more than expected. Obviously, everything else, the prices have gone up in everything we do. So this transfer would be needed to pay for that bill.
Anything? Anybody on the committee? Yeah. All right. All those in favor? Opposed? None.
I'm gonna accuse myself.
Okay, you wanna make the record that Mr. Dow is recusing himself?
Actually, I don't know what's the old seat on it. If I hit my back with everybody.
All right, article number,
Is that mine?
just what I, take notes in.
Okay. If I can just, you help me out instead of reading, listening, because sometimes YouTube doesn't get it. Thank you.
Okay, article number 7, review and discuss the town manager's recommendation to appoint Jonathan Dow as a permanent full-time police officer for the town of Southbridge. Based on the police chief's recommendation, effective immediately upon successful completion of all medical, physical testing as required by Human Resources Civil Service, graduation from the police academy, and state ethics and good training. Entertain a motion to recommend to town council for confirmation.
So, second.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will defer to the chief on the majority of this, but as everyone is aware, the town is we have a civil service process, so the chief has to go through the civil service. All those parameters were met. This is his recommendation. Jonathan is a fine young man in the community, extensive background, education. I'll let the chief articulate that. But it's my pleasure to bring Mr. Dow as a candidate for police officer in the town of Southbridge.
Chief.
Through you, Mr. Chair, good evening. So it's a budgeted and existing position. Right now, we have 38 full-time police officers. We're authorized to have 40. If this is approved tonight and then at council on Monday, it'll bring us to 39. The issue we're having with staffing is we have 3 people that are out right now. One of them is at war in Syria through a military commitment. One is out on non-police related medical long-term, or not yet long-term, but I assume with the significance of it, it's going to be long-term. And then another one is coming back from a non-police related sick leave issue on Monday. So we've been 3 or 4 down for the last couple of months, but it is what it is with that. As far as the process that the town manager alluded to, there's a civil service test given in March of last year. They used to do every 2 years. They're now doing them every year because there's no candidates taking the police test. This candidate who's here tonight, Mr. Dow in front of us, he scored within that band of eligible candidates to be hired. So he went through the exhaustive background process that we had. Mr. Dow, along with several others, none of them are here tonight, that did not make the cut. In my opinion, they should not be police officers. That's what's on our list right now. They just gave it, another test was administered in March of this year. I'm hoping to have some more candidates off that list. It's going to be certified on June 1st. I'll bring them forward in the next fiscal year after speaking with the manager. As far as the candidate himself, born and raised here, master's degree in criminal justice, impeccable background. He wouldn't be here if he wasn't highly recommended by the manager and myself. He's our first, hopefully, police officer that understands Arabic in the community, which I think is huge. So I highly recommend him and hope that the board votes in favor.
A little bit that I know Jonathan, I find him to be a very respectful person. His mother did a great job bringing him up, and
His mother, for sure.
I said the mother.
You agree with that, right?
But his mother did a great job. I've met a lot of people in my time, and this gentleman is a very respectable people that he met. I've only known him for a little bit, but I think he'll make a great police officer for the town, and I hope he sticks around for us. Anything else?
There's nothing to say. You said it all.
From the floor? All those in favor? Opposed? None. Well, congratulations.
See you Monday.
Monday night.
Thank you.
Have a speech ready.
I told him to run before you guys made him give a speech.
And by the way, you have to sit through the budget adoption before
I'm
your
hoping that
budget
gets
comes
moved
up.
to the top. So.
No, I already told the chief it can't happen.
Yeah. Thank God you got a good wife. Yeah, she brought him up well.
Everybody good around me.
Surround yourself with good people.
All right, article number 8. Review and discuss the police department transfer request for $29,000 from account number 001210-511000, salary and wages, to account number 001210-515000, holiday, to cover the additional cost for holiday coverage for the remainder of the fiscal year. Entertain a motion to recommend to council for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Town Chief.
If I could, through you, Mr. Chair, this account is historically underfunded. I ask every year during the budget process to raise it, and out of respect for the finances of the community, we do not raise it. It's been the same since FY21. It's, wages go up, holiday stays the same, so every year I come back. In 21, I asked for $25,000 transfer. In 22, it was $4,000. In 23, it was almost $13,000. So the manager and I have been working on these things so we don't have to keep coming back for transfers, but as we sit here today, this transfer is required to get us through Memorial Day and Juneteenth. And it's coming out of salary, I apologize, but it's coming out of our salary account because we've been short-staffed. So if whatever's not used out of the holiday account will go back into the general fund.
Town Manager.
And I think through our budget process, we did recommend an increase to this account so that we might continue to have as much we may possibly still.
Yeah.
Councilor Dow.
Thank you, Chair, through you. Chief, you say you transfer back to the general fund, and their town council, Marquette, has always have issue regarding money left overs and you transfer a different account. Did any way you can, or maybe not, just, on for record, what he recommend before to be able to specific, got it correctly, the numbers, and that's impossible, correct?
Well, through you, Mr. Chair, the problem is with accounts like this is I don't know who's going to be working on like the super holidays, Christmas, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. I don't know how many officers, I can't predict how many are going to be working, who's going to call in sick. Is the officer working the holiday on overtime also? So it fluctuates. But if we get to a certain number, what I'm working with this town manager on now, we should be okay. It's just a matter of getting to that number because it's been the same budgeted amount in holiday for like 5 years now. And every July, people get 2%, it compounds, but we're not ever increasing the actual holiday account. That's the problem. So it's very hard. This one's one of the hardest to predict.
Thank you.
Anybody else? All those in favor? Unanimous. Article number 9, review and discuss police department transfer request for $4,300 from account number 001210-511000, salary account to account number 001210-524300, repair and maintenance of buildings and grounds to cover the repair cost of the gate, the employee entrance door at the police headquarters, and for the repair and recertification of fire extinguishers. entertain a motion to recommend town council for approval.
So,
Discussion. Chief.
Through you, Mr. Chair, this one's a little bit easier to predict. Last year, we did no transfers. The year before, we did a significant transfer because we had some of you may have been on the council at the time, a catastrophic HVAC failure that cost, it was probably a $70,000 repair. So that's why in FY '22, we transferred a bunch of money into this account. But usually, overall, we start out with $23,000 in this budgeted account, repair and maintenance, and I usually don't have to do transfers. This particular instance, why we're here tonight, one of the gates at our headquarters, the motor blew up, and then the door to get into our PD to keep it secure, the fob system short, so we have to have both of those repaired. In addition to that, all of our fire extinguishers, which we never did before, and I'm embarrassed to say because I wasn't aware that we had to, certify all of our fire extinguishers in every cruiser every year.
Field of fire
And I did not know that until we went through the accreditation process that is going to be completed next month, so we have to have that done this year also to be an accredited police department. I just never knew, as I've been here for 29 years, and we have a fire extinguisher, you use it, you replace it, and that's that. Now you have to have someone come and inspect it and make sure that it's certified, which I don't know if I agree with, but it is what accreditation wants, so it's what I'll do. That's why we're here tonight, sir.
There's a little tag on it.
I understand that completely, but we have to have a professional. The fires, my opinion, my understanding is, I couldn't even have the fire chief come over and inspect that. I have to have this company come and do it for
Same
me.
idea with your elevator. You
It's-
can't
it's
have Rick go
insane,
change
yeah.
the light bulb.
So I don't say I agree with it, but it's what we have to do. That's
We're handcuffed.
yeah, literally.
Chief.
Just a quick comment on that, we have to call the same company you do to
So-
inspect all the fire extinguishers in the fire station and in.
On the trucks. Yeah. Makes no sense.
Learn something new every day, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Through the town manager, send one of the firefighters to get certificate to be able to inspect that. Maybe we'll save more money. Thank you.
There's another stipend.
Yeah. I think it's actually a lot.
out of turn.
Yeah.
There's much more that goes into that process, you have to get the testing equipment, the pressurizing, the canisters, that's why we don't do our own Scott bottles.
Yeah.
Same theory. I agree, but it's
Is
definitely much.
this one of those items, town manager, that we could go out for an RFP for all the fire extinguishers throughout the whole town? You got the schools, you got the town hall, you got fire station, you got police station, you got DPW.
They can't go. Usually they go different time because every 6
No, if
months.
we,
No,
right.
but
They can get
contract.
it on the
So
standard.
not to talk out of turn, but previously, the DPW director would set that up for every department.
Right.
And that's probably still, I don't know if it goes out to RFP or if they used to just contact the vendor and say, hey, we got the schools here, we got the fire station, we got the, whatever
good
needs to
question.
be done.
It's a good question. I will look.
It
Okay.
could save money.
Yeah, good.
Anybody else?
They charge, I think, by the piece.
Right, but if we can guarantee the company,
It
Say
could be a
100
state bid
bottles.
list that does it.
you know, on the state bid list or something like that, it might save us a few bucks, but if we have one location that tracks, you know, it's just one little less thing that everybody has to worry about.
Yeah.
I got that.
All right, any other further discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous. Number 10, review and discuss police department transfer for $7,000 from account number 001210-511000, salary to account number 001210-52111000, electricity to cover the cost of electricity for the remainder of the fiscal year. Entertain a motion to recommend town council for approval.
So, second.
Discussion. Chief.
Through you, Mr. Chair, this one's a little bit unique and it requires a little bit of explanation. So in fiscal year 2022, I had to do an $8,000 transfer to cover the cost of electricity. But in fiscal year 23, I had $12,000 that went back to the general fund on June 30th. So this fluctuates tremendously because of the credits, the solar credits, the electricity costs, etc. And I will need this amount to be approved to get us through to June 30th. But this one is another one I can't predict. Usually we can get within pretty close, but again, 1 year we had a transfer, 1 year we had a substantial amount of money left over in the electricity account. So we kept it this year at $36,000 again for FY25, and I don't know if the manager wants to elaborate on any of this.
This is the conversation I think I've had a couple meetings now that we have that net zero metering project that we have to do to look at all our electric bills because there are accounts that have a lot of credits to it, and we have to balance them out to every account. And we just hadn't had the staff through the year to do that because it is quite extensive. We have a whole spreadsheet of all of that, and we are working with the vendor to get that process started, but it is an extensive project. So he has the funds in the salary line item. Like he says, last year they would have applied some of the credits. This was, if you go back some of the councils that were here before, at the end of the year, Karen and Heather would manage that account, and they would say at the end of the year we're going to transfer, and it would balance out for the credits because we haven't applied the credits and all that. So it is a project that we go, but he does have the money. If we do get the credits, anything would go back to free cash anyway. So it's just so we can pay the bill.
This is, and again, as the manager had said earlier tonight, Mr. Chair, I'm here tonight because May 31st, I think, is the cut for transfers, and I want this to be the last time that I'm here, hopefully. And I agree with the idea of having a cut date because it gets us in here now. And so I'm trying to predict what the electricity will be until June 30th, and I just wanted to be safe.
I know we've had some lengthy discussions about utilizing the money in the budgets for items that, expensive items, things like that, that are able to, like, I'll use an example, a police car. If he had money enough to buy a police car with his accounts, if that's something that you're gonna be working on for this department too?
I don't know if it would be a police cruiser, but we are looking at, the chief had put into his capital the second phase of the epoxy floors,
Right,
right? So I think that's a good use of existing monies to just fund it out of the, it's already part of the tax rate, it's already there.
so you'll come back to us?
Yeah, there's some, and
Probably.
I've already talked to Rich at DPW because he has like painted the salt shed,
Right,
a couple other things.
right, I don't know if the chief's got something, I'm sure you guys are working all together. Okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor? All right, unanimous.
And if I might,
Yeah.
that's the reason why we gave him May 31st. Get your orders in, get your things, and that would give us 30 days through that period of time to see where everybody's at.
Yeah.
Check your payroll, see how, cost out how many average payrolls you have. Then that would give us some ability to do a little bit of planning in the month of June.
Okay, great. Article number 11, review and discuss police department transfer for $6,463 from account number 001210-511000, salary to account number 001210-525300, repair and maintenance of communications to cover the cost of repairs to the police and fire radio system and for state mandated IT upgrades. Entertain a motion to recommend town council for approval.
So moved.
Second.
All right. Chief.
So the first part of this, and thank you to the fire chief for standing by on this, but we've got a serious repair that's needed on the microwave system. If I could, I believe he can speak more to this.
So through the chair to the committee, last year, over the last 2 years, I should say, there's been some upgrades happening to the tower behind the fire station. AT&T requested to go higher and on the tower that's there. So while they were up there installing all of that equipment, it was identified. I had asked the vendor from Crown Communications, who owns the tower, hey, can you look at my equipment while you're up there? He went up there, looked at my equipment. I didn't print the picture because Roland told me never to bring a picture again, but I think this pretty much explains the microwave.
Doesn't listen to his wife, but he listens to me.
Oh, wait a minute. It's got a big hole in it. So there's two microwaves on that tower. And as the chief has said, we actually, because it is a fire and the police system, we split the cost of this repair equally. I had some money in my account in communications repairs, so he's needing the transfer to do this plus the other IT thing. So I'll answer any questions on the radios.
Is this one of these accounts, radio communications, that we can also combine together with police, fire, DPW, and
Yeah, I'm not sure on that one.
Some of it is,
Some of it's specific to each
Yes.
agency.
All right.
So
Okay.
I think the more common accounts are like office supply or vehicle maintenance, things like that. So we'll be working on a lot of it throughout the fiscal
and then
year.
if I could, Mr. Chair, the second part of that component would be the Department, DC, just Department of Criminal Justice Information. They come down and do an audit every year. This year they popped in and they decided to tell us that our current infrastructure in place didn't meet their safety hack requirements. and we needed to upgrade it, or they were gonna pull the system out of the building. And, which, it, again, surprised to me, because we have an IT person, we have a company that we use, but the state, and I'm trying to be polite, they just decided that it wasn't enough, and we need to put another barrier in place to make sure that that information is protected. This is how we run license plates, warrant checks, criminal histories. The men and women that work for us use it every single day, so we can't go without it, but it was just dropped on me within the last month, that we had to repair this.
What was that agency, Chief?
Department of Criminal Justice Information Systems, DCJIS.
Anybody else? All those in favor? Okay, Article 12, review and discuss police department transfer from $500 from account 001210-511000 salary to account number 001210-524400. Copy of lease and contracts to cover the costs of the paid per copy agreement with the vendor for the remainder of the fiscal year. Entertain a motion to recommend town council approve transfers. Chief,
Mr. Chair, this is an account that I've never had to transfer money to ever. This is strictly because of the cutoff date being at the end of May, which again, I agree with, but this is to ensure that I don't have to come back to council after the cutoff date and request money to pay for copy of paper. That's what this essentially comes down to. It's that simple. I just don't know how much we're gonna use between now and June 30th.
Eric?
Has there been any forward motion on getting all the copiers, like with one vendor and all that?
We talked about it during the budget process, and that will be a project that Dean and I will be working on in the next fiscal year.
Okay.
To go out to either a state contract or to put, to kind of do that thing. We do buy a copy of paper from the school department.
Schools, yep.
So we just got hit with a bill that I have to transfer that I have to do for like $2,700 or something from the school, so.
Okay.
But I think that's where we talked about too. What departments get paper and, does the school bill them separately or should it all come to the town hall and town hall says with the supplier of the paper, So that's something we're gonna be working on. Copiers, paper,
Right.
electricity, all that stuff.
Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed, none? Article 13, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor? I guess we all agree, so, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.